Hey, how's everyone doing today? I'm doing well today, Tuesday, and here I'm doing my review of Iyanla Fix My Life, Basketball Lies, the Maxiels. This is about Brandy and Jason Maxiel. Now, if y'all don't know, Brandy is from the Basketball Wives series early on in the season, and she was on it for a while, and then she got let go. So it's a story of her life and her marriage and her troubles. Question: why do you stay in a marriage when you know it's broken? That you know you can't trust, you don't have honesty, you have lack of communication. If you know the spouse is cheating on you, you're lying on you, abusing you, why do you keep staying? This is a question that always plagues me when I listen to people's stories and they say that they stayed with them and stayed with her and all that stuff. But why? What's the point? And sometimes people give an answer that it's hard to leave and everything. Yes, it may be hard because each time you keep taking that person back and get going, it intensifies the greenness of the level of the hurt, the pain and stuff that you numbing yourself and you think that you have the power. The first time you had the power because you can control the destiny of your relationship. You control if you're gonna leave the person, if you decide to stay, and what's going different. But every time after that, you lose the control, and then you become somebody you're not supposed. You think you're not gonna become. You might become bitter. You might become angry. You might become shut down. You might become abusive yourself, and you might become somebody who's on a rage, and you would not think that will happen, but it's continue on staying with the person who causing your triggering your emotions like this is not good. So who are you really hurting? Are you hurting them person or are you hurting yourself because you keep accepting the behavior? So when I hear the story about Iyanla Fix My Life about this basketball lies, it just pains me how Brandy stayed in a marriage with a guy who was a serial cheater. Now, it started off when we told us about that. They've been together for 17 years, on and off, like that. They've been married for 8 of the 17 years. And they was high school sweethearts. And throughout the whole throughout the whole lifespan of Jason's lifespan, he been cheating and he slept with over 300 women. The exact number was 341 women. I mean, that was a very precise number, but that's what he said. He slept like about 341 women throughout his lifespan. And during the marriage with Brandy, he slept with over 50 people, over 50 women. Now, in marriage eyes, she's know that she slept only with 8 people, and that was still a lot. She said she could have worked with the 8 people, but 50 was a large number as well. But let's backtrack. So I'm just want to say that is that he is a serial cheater, but Brandy knows this before she married him, and he been like this for a long time. So they got engaged when she got diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which is like that's something to go about. So she has her own internal bag of struggles, health, medical struggles that she has to go through, and top with the marriage. So um when we look at Jason, when he sleep with too many women, it's kind of feeling like what is going on? Like, do he value himself? When you see women or men sleeping with so many people like that, it's the detachment of themselves. It's detachment of they don't have no control, and it's like, what are they willing away from? What are they killing him, and what are they treating straight away that they don't want to think about? It usually boils down into the adulthood, the childhood, and everybody saying, "Oh no, it doesn't affect me," or when I was a child, nothing happened, or in the household, it does affect you as an adult. Because when you're in adult time, sometimes people get all this baggage, and they all fucked up individuals, and then usually trigger back to what they have been in a childhood. So what Jason, he told him to find out that he been in a single parent household, and he didn't know his father. He didn't ever knew his father. They grew up not knowing his father. His father didn't raise him, didn't know him like that. So I guess it's that void of not having his father in his life created this kind of separation of himself and that hole, the soul, the hole he have. Cause Yana said, a hole in a boy's soul is that of shape of his father. So since he didn't know how that his father is absent, he's like himself is like absent of his life and vacant and distant from the life that he is creating, and he just doing things just to numb the pain and numb the void and numb of keeping control of himself. So that's like something deep that you really have to explore. It's like, why are you sleeping with so many women? What is going on? And usually the answer is that he said that he don't know, and that's usually an honest answer because it's usually always something that causing this reckless behavior, and he don't want to. He don't want to. He really don't want to admit that he has a sex addiction, which is like when you're sleeping with that one many women in your life, you deny it. It's like you do have a sex addiction. Like, what is it? It's like, and then I'm not gonna. He then it came up that he got a drinking problem, but I'm gonna bring that up later. And so it's a void, detachment of self, and the fact that he's with someone women and he don't have any emotions connected. So what do you get from what satisfaction are you getting for sleeping with some women like this? And it just said it's something to numb, it's something to do, and to cut the joy, to not think about the stress. And that's what a lot of men does, and they feel like they just have that enjoyment for that little time being, but don't think about anything else. So when Brandy accepted engagement, they got married. They think it was all good, but he been cheating through his marriage too. I mean, a guy who been cheating since high school, and now he feeling the hurt, and he know he want to help accept the hurt, accept getting help and change it and getting better at his marriage with Brandy, because I guess they both want to stay and work it out. But how can you do that when you denying the fact that you have addiction? And if you don't help that addiction, it's gonna keep festering in your marriage. It's gonna keep festering in you, and it's not gonna go well. So you need to really humble yourself and work on yourself to show that you could be better. If you don't work on yourself, you can't do anything. So you're gonna keep this pattern and pattern. So by Jason not having his father's life and this whole in his heart and his soul, he developed this a detachment of life. You say, I didn't have no father. I grew in a single parent household. My mother was good to me, but I didn't have no example of how to be a man. And it was another thing. A man is who a woman shaped him to be. And so, because they protect the heart, so they let the man become who they become. And I guess growing up in his mother's house, I'm not saying how the parenting is, but it's kind of like freaking dead that when we met the parents, the Brandy and Jason parents, it's kind of obvious that somehow they was oblivious to the fact that a child was affected by absent father or abused father. Now, and come with Brandy case, she's like so damn hurt because she said the father that she thought she was knew growing up was not her real father, and she found out her real father when she was like 20 something, 8 years old. I think she's around her 30s now, so that's still like kind of it's still kind of prevalent, and it's still kind of prevalent of what's going on. So it's like she knows something was up, but her mother never told her that she never had the father that she grew up with was not her real father. She found out herself, and it comes to the point where parents think that, oh, children doesn't know things what's going on in a broken household, and they don't understand and don't feel, and does affect them. Yes, it does, because children feels and they know what things is different, and they too custom with something, but then out of all of something they change. You gotta question it. You gotta look at your child and say what's going on, and then you talk to them. And people think that these kids like 5, 6, 7 years old, when they start knowing things, they know some stuff, and you are like thinking that, oh, they don't know, they're too young. No, they know these now. So you need to explain to them how's things going. If you need to explain to them what's the change. And a lot of parents don't want to co-parenting. They just want to be damaged. So when Brandy and Jason case, they have a child, and they is showing this child what is example how to treat a woman, how to be a man, or follow example of his father's footsteps. And Brandon doesn't want that, but that's what it's becoming, because that's what she accepted in her relationship with Jason. And if she don't fix that, her son will become her father, her husband. Their son will become his father, and it's not gonna be good. So it does affect you. And Brandy said the father that she knew abuses her. So when she sees that and she didn't like that, she married somebody who's kind of like abusing her in a way that kept cheating on her and kept disrespecting her and mistreated her and everything. So and then she keeps accepting it. So what are you, Brandy? What broken in you, and what you can't value yourself that you have to keep accepting this behavior? And sometimes, and it's always this thing when you say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And it's like that. Brandy, you can't blame anybody but yourself, because the first time he cheated on you, it was on him. The second time he cheated, everything after that is on you, because you aware of his cheating, but you stayed. And that's the problem. And then that staying it becomes misguided when you start lack of communication. You don't want to communicate with your husband anymore. You are using bitterness, using control, using manipulation, just to get what you want, because you trying to hurt him as much as he hurt you. But then y'all being together is hurting your son, because he's seeing this. And then the fact that the 5-year-old, and their son is 5 years old, told his grandma what's going on. And it's like, it shows that, because Brandy's mother was like, oh, he doesn't know, the grandson doesn't know, none of that. Brandy didn't know what was going on. She said yes, he did. Brandy found out on her own. You never told her that the father that she grew up with was abusing her. It was not her father, and she had a different father. And then it was problems in the relationship, it was problems in the marriage, and stuff was going on. It was change. And then that 5-year-old grandson told the other grandma what's going on. So they kids knows. So it just shows them, it's like you can't deny the fact. And that technology and passing down, it starts from their childhood. And since their childhood, they had no example of a good marriage. They don't have no example of following what exactly is a good example of marriage. So when we get this question, when we sat Brandy down, why did you stay with him? She said, I said my vows. I said, I do. But he broke that vows. So what part of that vows is that you harboring that you need to stay with him? It's because he broke it. He broke it. He destroyed the vows. So at what extent are you going to feel like you need to leave and let go? And the fact that you staying is creating this person, monster inside of you that you don't think is an issue. What it is, because you need to take your part in your marriage too, because and you're part of the destroying the marriage. Because yes, he's cheating and that's on him and he's fucked up, but you're aware of his cheating and you're accepting it, but you are not doing anything about that. But you are doing is you controlling him, and you controlling the action of this child, or controlling his interaction with his child, and not having his child seeing his grandparents, which is not good. So you manipulating that. But she getting angry that she's not doing that. I say yes, you are, because it's pretty prevalent that you're doing that. But there's not addiction that Jason has. It's a drinking problem, because one of the parents brought that up. Brandon Terry want Jason to control his drinking, and he said he doesn't have a problem, but he like to take a drink every now and then, like 4 glasses or something a day or something. It's a drinking problem. You have addiction. You sleep with a lot of women, that's a sex addiction, and you have a drinking problem, that's a drinking condition, and it numbs your pain and numbs stuff, but it makes it worse in a relationship because you can't talk and you get your behavior changes. So they both in denial in the fact that they both have a hand in the marriage, and they both is part of the destroying the healthy balance of their marriage. So it's toxic, and they as soon they cannot accept their part in it, until they accept their part in their demise in their marriage, they will not heal, and the cycle will keep going, and just they broken and they want to stay together. Because she said also she want to stay because of their son, and she knows that Jason's a good man. Yes, Jason's a good man and everything, but why not co-parenting? Why do you stay in an environment with toxicity towards your child, it's toxicity towards yourselves, and it's not conducive of a healthy relationship? If y'all not communicating, y'all have no trust. So what is there to stay? And y'all be in this household when y'all can't stand each other. He feel emasculated. He feel less than a man because Brandy don't let him talk and don't hear him out and put fears and threats him and verbally abuse him. And the father that she grew up knowing, she becoming that father because a woman is who her daddy tells her she is. So if a woman, if Brandy is the person, a doormat, somebody a pushover, somebody a pushover, that's where if she sees that, and her mother not defending her mother can't defend herself, and she weak herself, she becomes her mother, and then she becomes who her daddy tells her, like she's weak and she manipulative, or she can be easy, and she will stay. It's not like that. So she becomes abused a little bit because she's abusing her son, husband Jason, for not allowing him to speak and putting fears in him and threatening him and stuff like that because she felt hurt by him. Now, when they had a conversation about how how she knew about 8 people that in the marriage, and they sat down and he said, "Do you want me to know how many women he had slept with in the marriage?" And Iyanla said it's not important to know the number because at the end of the day, you have no 8 people. That's a way the large number. You accept your vows to marry one person, to be with that faithful one person. When you bring everybody else and sleeping with everybody else outside your marriage, that destroys it. So the fact that she knows 8, but then she wanted to really know the number, and when she found out the number was 50, she really got upset and got up. She said she's so broken, she's so hurt, she got want to do this. But I said, what makes the number 50 so greater than the number 8? Yes, it's more people, but what makes it different? It's still a lot of numbers of cheaters. You know 8 people, but you said you wanted to work with 8 people, but 50 is it's a deal breaker. It's like a really crazy because now you know it's more than 8 people, which is ridiculous because it doesn't matter. You stayed, you still with him, you didn't leave. So the fact is, the question is going by both of y'all mind, and as y'all said, why are y'all staying? What's the issues? What is the deal that y'all need to stay? Y'all want to work on this out, but y'all can't heal if you don't trust. If you don't have communication, you can't. And then the anger and stuff you have, and then he numbing his pain and emotions and stuff like that. He detaching of life, and you are becoming the person that you feel like you ain't become, and then you controlling the actions, and you saying that you don't trust your son around the father because he got to drink upon, which is understandable because with people who drinks, it's tough. But she said when she's not around, she don't want her son alone with the father, and she don't want her son going seeing the great grandfather, the grandmother as well. And the grandma broke down Brandy's, no, Jason's mother, Patricia. She broke down and said, "Yo, my grandson only see me once a year around my birthday. That's not good. They won't let me see him." And Brandy be banding the mother to come to the house, which is like crazy because now she creating this hostile environment that he can't speak for himself. And Jason, every man feel like they need to feel a man in the household. So he feel less than a man because now Brandy create this environment where she has to control and she has to fear to get what she wants. And if she don't get what she wants, she get angry and get bitter. And it's very prevalent in this episode when she's like so hostile. And she said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not manipulating anyone. This is not. I say, yes, you are. Like, that's exactly what you're doing. And you know what you're doing, but you try to deny the fact that you're doing it. So you are denying the fact that you are creating this hostile environment that he can't speak for himself. And when he did say how he feel, you kind of like flipped on it or dismissed what he's saying. You didn't really. That's not what he said when he said that he feel he can't talk to you. He feels kind of threatened by you. He fears you and afraid of not speaking up. And he also said afraid to not see his grandfather, because he did say that his grandma and grandfather had a good marriage, and he's one of the models that, and he likes that. But now he said his grandfather's broke down. That's kind of like hurt him, because it affected him more, because he don't have his father in his life, and then his grandfather broken down. It's like it destroyed his life, his happiness, and his feeling of himself. And he decided to go out there and detach himself from the void world, to avoid the emotions, to avoid dealing with the issues that he really have. So he been doing that. The fact that he can't see his grandfather is like, it's kind of damaging him. So it's like he's afraid of not seeing him before he passed away, and before him go on and not speaking to him and have a good relationship with him, because all the part of what he's done, and he punished himself enough. He's already punishing himself that he's doing this reckless behavior. So he really punishes himself. He punishes his body, his soul, his livelihood, and everything. So he really does that himself. So adding more stress to that is crazy. It's messed up. And when he said she realized he didn't know that he has a problem, but she also realized that she knows she has a part in that, and she attracted to the man that she's attracted to that type of man. She attracted to the person, cheater or abuser or whatever. He doesn't really abusing her, but he's kind of abusing her by cheating so much and lying to her, that she created a space that she's comfortable. She knows. Like, I guess people stay in marriage, in toxic marriage, because they comfortable. They know. They in the know of what's going on, instead of starting all over with somebody new. And I was like, and that's another thing people say. They say, oh, I'm going to stay because I already know what his issues, his problems are, and everything. I can work on it. But you can't work on it if you're not really trying to work on it. You stay because you want to control the fact that he hurt you, so you want to hurt him. And then if you have children, you feel like it's going to be yours, so you accepted that it needs to be your custody, in your hand, your decisions, because they hurt you. Doesn't mean that they have the same relationship with their children. They may be good parents towards the children, but they just been bad parent, spouse towards you. So sometimes you got to think about things, and that son is in the middle of things, and the fact that you emasculated the man, saying that it's my child, you can't take my child to see his grandfather, you can't take my child to see his grandma, and you can't have them come to the house. It's like, it's your child, it's our child. You can't say mine when it's both of your children. He helped create that child. So you gotta, and then she said she wanna help him, but you can't help him if you don't trust him. She don't trust him. She don't trust him about their son. She don't trust him as a man. So what can you do to help? So Iyanla said, at this point, your marriage is kind of broken. It can be done, but y'all both need to heal, work on your individual self, and then if y'all decide y'all want to stay, then y'all can work on the repairing the marriage. But the marriage is beyond repair right now, and Iyanla advice. So she advised y'all to stay separated for a while, to kind of understand yourselves and understand what is going on, so y'all could be better off together if y'all decided to raise the child together. Because if y'all doing this now and y'all continue the cycle, the son is going to become the cheater like his father, and then the mother goes shape his son the way how she is, and say like, oh, your father's no good, your father's shit, and all that stuff. And they create this kind of thing, and his son has made it seem like, okay. And I'm seeing how my mother and father interacting, and that's how the marriage should be. So when I get older, I'm gonna treat my relationship like the same way my parents are. And it always starts from the household. So parents, when you say that a child doesn't affect them and it doesn't affect their marriage or relationship in the future, is wrong. It does. It does in a big way, in effect. And then stop denying that they're so young and they don't understand. They understand. They understand a lot. And you need to sit down and talk to them and understand the way that exactly is changing. And sometimes the best interest of the child is to be separated with parents. If y'all marriage is toxic and his marriage is no good, it's beyond repair, it's best to separate. Why not co-parenting? Y'all would be better off raising that son, and he would be a better person if y'all both raise him separately in a separate household instead of y'all be in the same household. Because with the same household, he's not gonna grow up being a respectful individual or well-rounded good man if he's in his broken relationship, in a broken household where both parents are messed up and they're not getting themselves together. He got to work on his addictions. He's a denial of his addictions. He needs to work on that. And she's in denial of her part of being controlled, being angry, having bitterness, and having manipulation in the marriage because of results of his cheating. So last it boils down to it, why stay? Why stay in a marriage if your marriage is very toxic to you? Some people say, oh, after one time you don't mess up, you don't leave after the first time. It depends on yourself. Because in my opinion, like if I put myself out there, being faithful to you, devoted to you, and you become devoted to me, you should be committed to this one person. If you want to sleep with everybody else, don't get engaged to me, don't get married to me, just let it go, let it be, because I'm not going to be the person who want to be practicing having, I'm thinking in a monogamous relationship, but you outside having sex with all these different people, which is not going to help. It's not happening. So for me, I don't know. Maybe the first time that's it, but I would leave after the first time you cheat on me, because then you gonna cheat on me again. If I take you back, that's gonna be like a light bulb for them and say, you know what, I could do this again because they accepted me back. I said no. Sometimes you got to let the foot down, and sometimes it starts early, and it's not hard to leave. It's easy to leave, but you create that hardship when you keep staying, and then you step into behavior, and then it changes you because you so misguided and so affected by this. If it does affect you, you will not be. This will not affect you. You would have let that go. You would leave. You move on. But it's still affecting you, and you say it's not affecting you. Yes, it is, because you need to see the actions you have been doing since this came out. So sometimes when it comes to cheating, infidelity, and you know the first time you found out the first time, whatever it's a one person or it was different people and everything, I advise you separate and leave, because once you start staying, then the dynamics of the marriage changing, and then you're gonna have lack of trust. You're gonna have lack of communication, and then you gonna become a different person, and then y'all both is broken. And then the fact that you staying with this person is like, you need to look within yourself and what happened in your childhood, what happened to you that is allowing you to stay in this abusive kind of cheating kind of environment. And then that person who is cheating, they gotta look at themselves and why they keep doing this, why they keep hurting the person they married. And so I wish Brandy and Jason well, and I hope they work it out. If they decide to leave from each other, I think that would be the best interest right now, because they both is broken and they both need to work on themselves. And until that happens, this marriage is not gonna repair. So hope you like this review. I really enjoyed this episode. It explains a lot of things that a lot of people go through. A lot of women and men have the same situation just like Jason and Brandy, but the only thing is they're reality TV stars and they don't have a lot of money and stuff. But you don't have to have a lot of money. Don't have to have a lot of money to go through the same issues that they're going through, because a lot of people is going through the same thing, and it's eye opening for a lot of people. It's like, why you stay? Because once you stay after that, and continue to nowhere, you become aware, and once you're aware, then you become in denial that the fact that it's happening, and then you saying it's not, it is true. So hope you like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Please share my videos as well. Hope to get my number out there, and I hope talk to you later. Peace.